Welcome to Arts and Music. I am your host, Victor Janflone. Today on Arts and Music, I'm pleased to bring you Daina Griffith. Welcome, Daina Griffith, to the show. It's so good to have you. How long has it been that we've talked about this?
A very long time. A very long time.
Very long time. Back to Cabaret, I believe.
Yes, it's finally happened.
Isn't that when we met?
We did, 2007.
See, you remember the date. I don't even remember the date.
Yeah.
I just know it was Cabaret.
Yes, January, February 2007.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So, when you were a child,
yes,
what did you aspire to be? Did you have a goal, like when you were a child, and go, I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah, I was an only child, so I had a lot of things that I wanted to be. Most importantly, I wanted to be Punky Brewster. Punky Brewster was like a huge thing when I was in elementary school. I'm showing my age, but it's very true. I loved her, Punky Power. And I also wanted to be a bus driver. And I thought that if I was Punky Brewster, then they would let me drive the bus. I've always had this obsession with buses and driving them. And actually, when I was in college, my apprenticeship, my junior and senior year at Point Park, was driving the shuttle, which was this gigantic bus-like van thing that I would pick kids up down at the downtown campus and take them to Oakland. So this little like dream came true when I got to drive the shuttle. But I wanted to be Punky Brewster and be a bus driver.
Now, what's funny is you say that, but when I was a child, the Partridge Family.
Of course.
And and what's funny is when I was in like first grade or whatever, we used to do the wink back and forth like I was the bus.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, because it does the lights.
Yeah.
So we. So
That's
it's funny that
awesome.
you say about a bus.
Oh yeah.
Because that's also true in my case.
That's great.
And, yeah.
Yeah, I had a whole route. I had a whole route in my backyard where I would stop and I would pick up kids, not real kids, fake kids, but like pick up kids on my bicycle and then drive to the next stop. And I think it's because I had a bus driver. I was a very shy kid, and I had a bus driver. I believe her name was Sherry or Shelley, and she had the frostiest pink lips I'd ever seen and the biggest black head of hair. And she would talk to me. I would sit right behind her, and she was really, really nice to the kid that barely spoke, you know. So I think Sherry or Shelley or whatever her name was kind of made me feel very comfortable, and then therefore I kind of idolized her. So I wanted to drive a bus like she did.
So when did you decide to be an actress? Is that right, actress or actor?
I don't know.
I guess it works both ways.
It does work both ways. I answer to either. I mean, doesn't matter. Actress, actor, I don't know. I decided though, I knew that I wanted to do it, but I didn't really have an outlet. Like I said, only child, so there was lots of like pretending and that kind of thing. But when I was in the 7th grade, I had this reading teacher named Mrs. Herzog who took the class down to Cincinnati. My family's from like 45 minutes north of Cincinnati in a place called Fairfield, Hamilton. And
how far is that from Dayton?
It's kind of almost exactly the same. Yeah, it's like 45 from Cincinnati and like 45 from Dayton and like 15, 20 minutes to Indiana. So it's right over on the side there. But so she took our class to see Christmas Carol down at Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park in the 7th grade. And after we got back to the class, like the next day or whatever, she pulled me aside and she gave me this little pamphlet that was for acting classes down at Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park. Now, I did not take those classes because I was too shy, but fast forward a bunch of years, and I'm at the end of my time in high school. And so I auditioned for a play my senior year, and I got in the play. And
this was your high school?
This was at my high school, yeah, my senior year at my high school. and then the rest is kind of history, for the most part.
So did you study acting when you went to college?
I did. I went to Miami University of Ohio, where Ben Roethlisberger went to school.
I was going to say Ben's from there.
Yes, right. He was there when I was there those 2 years. I didn't know him. I never crossed paths. I'm sure he's a lovely man, but let's go Steelers. But I went there for 2 years and then decided to audition for places and started looking at places to audition. And actually, that's how I came to Pittsburgh. I went to Point Park I got my BFA in musical theater. So I was there for 4 years, and it was like summer camp. It was the most fun I'd ever had. Because suddenly I was getting graded on something that I actually was interested in learning. You know, I was interested in figuring out how to score a scene and create a character and not, you know, algebra and things like that. So it was like a summer camp. It was amazing.
Which sounds really good.
Yeah.
Because for me, mathematics and I don't get along. So.
Yeah, I could do some math. I do fast math. That's what I call it. I can like figure out something pretty quickly in my head. My mom does that too. It's a trait she's passed down.
Did you ever do any modeling?
I did. After I graduated high school, I did some. I've done sporadically over the last few years.
You're on a cover here, right?
I am. There's a couple. I've been on a couple, which is awesome and so cool to send home to my family. But yeah, I did a couple. Let's see. I did 2 table magazines, and I was on a city paper insert thing during Christmas with a martini and
I saw that.
a beehive. Yeah, it was fabulous. It's like one of my favorite things of all time. But I've done a lot of like Joann Fabrics and Dick's Sporting Goods and Yellow Pages and things like that. It's fun. It's good, fast money. Now I'm kind of in the like young mom stage, which is weird. But you know, I've done some like Gerber baby with mom with the baby thing, and that's weird. But you know, you do it because that's what you do. I like it though. I think it's fun. I think it's a lot of fun. I've done some handbag things too. I've done all kinds of weird things in the last 15 years, modeling wise. It's strange. I'm surprised by it every time. Like, really? Okay, here we go.
So back to acting.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for a role?
Preparing for a role is the fun part, I think. I love prep, and I love rehearsing, and I love figuring things out because you never quite figure them out. Even after you close a show, you know, 2 months later, you're like, oh, that's what that was, and I never did it right once. But I prepare by doing research, doing lots of reading, and basically just kind of doing as much prep as I can outside of the rehearsrsal room, because the magic kind of happens in the rehearsal room when you are with, you know, another person, and you're figuring up what you're picking up, what they're putting down, and that's really exciting. But it's fun. It's a fun, weird job to have. I'm figuring out this person right now that I'm getting ready to start working on, and it's daunting, and it's like the coolest thing in the world at the same time, which is weird.
So do you have a favorite play?
A favorite?
And that's probably going to be tough.
It is totally tough.
You know,
it's a lot of
lot.
good. Yeah. Favorite play? I love Amadeus. I love Amadeus.
Which she was in.
Which I got to do.
Pittsburgh Public Theater.
At the Pittsburgh Public Theater in 2008.
With Harris.
With Harris Duran, that's right. Who was in Cabaret. Who
Yes, he was
the MC in Cabaret, and we became fast friends. And I played his wife in that show. I love Amadeus. What else do I love? There's a play called When the Rain Stops Falling by Andrew Bovell. It was actually another play that I was in that I love. A beautiful play. about family. And I'm better with and I love Sunday in the Park with George, the musical Sunday in the Park with George. There's only 2 musicals on my bucket list, and that's one of them. The other being Little Shop of Horrors, which they couldn't be.
That's Zach's favorite.
I know. Someone has
He's
to do
been
Little Shop.
begging
I know.
Ted.
I know.
You gotta do Little Shop. You gotta do Little Shop.
I agree. But yeah, the 2 shows couldn't be more different. But yeah, there's so many good plays, and there's so many not good plays, but there's a lot of really good plays.
So can we talk about films and films you've been in?
Yes.
So how many films have you been in now?
Let's see. Notable ones, Dark Knight Rises.
Which was here.
Which was shot here in Pittsburgh, which I would not have been cast in if I didn't live in Pittsburgh, I don't think. It's kind of a magical thing about it. And then I did a movie called Hollidaysburg, which was part of the Chair series, which was on Starz, the TV channel Starz. And what else have I done? Hollidaysburg, The Dark Knight Rises.
Outsiders. They did a second season now, right?
They are starting the second season. I'm not in the second season, but I did have a few. I know, darn it. You wouldn't even recognize me. If you saw the first season,
Nobody recognizes anybody in Outsiders, I think. They all look like, they're like, hill people of Scotland or something. Or
Yes. They're Appalachian, all the way.
Appalachians.
Yeah. But Outsiders, I had a couple of episodes on the first season. It's been good. It's been very good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There was a web series I did called I'll Call You, which I played a very angry lesbian woman, which I often play lesbians. In Hollidaysburg, I'm a lesbian too.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about is, do you feel like you could be getting typecasted?
In films and commercials and those kinds of things, I do feel like I'm kind of cast in a certain way because I have a very husky voice, and that's not going anywhere. I've always been like a young lady with this like deep man voice, and so that's weird, I know. But
I've never thought of you that way.
Really?
No.
Oh, because I hear my voice and I'm like standing next to someone else that's like, and I don't talk like that.
You didn't talk like that, Smeraldina.
No, Smeraldina was fantastic. I love that crazy woman. But so I think in the films and the TV stuff, I do kind of get pushed into this, not necessarily like the sweet person, but like the one who speaks her mind or whatever. But then in the theater, I don't think I get typecast.
No, I don't think so either.
No, which is
great.
Amazing.
Because you're getting a well-rounded representation of your acting ability.
Exactly. And that's what is important.
Yeah.
The movies and all that stuff is really cool. But what I live for is creating characters that show up on stage and are present nightly. Yeah.
So who has been an inspiration for you?
An inspiration? My family, my parents. I mean, it's cheesy, but like...
No, I mean, you know.
It's true. I would probably say that. I mean, my parents work really hard to kind of better their life in a way, and thank God they did, because I was given the opportunity to kind of dream big, and them saying, yes, go and dream big, you know, which a lot of parents, when you say, I want to be an actor, that's not the thing. Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? You want to do what? And it was a little surprising to them because I had never done it before, and I was like, I'm going to do this. And they're like, you're a tennis player and you like to paint. What are you talking about? So yeah, I'd say my family, my grandparents, they're all gone now. But yeah, there's family people are my inspirations, I'd say.
And do you have a favorite actor?
A favorite
Actor that inspires you?
Well, he's being looked down upon right now for many things. I love Johnny Depp. I've loved Johnny Depp forever. And I still love Johnny Depp.
He's got that wild kind of Steven Tyler, rebel man, you know, Keith Richards.
Yes.
If Keith Richards was younger, that is, because, you know, because now he's like really like...
He's 70.
Yeah, I mean, he's, you know, so
So
it's the same kind of thing.
Oh, yes. And he's from Kentucky. So I feel like we would understand each other. We would be kindred spirits. But yeah, so I love him. And I love Maggie Gyllenhaal. There's an actress that works in the theater, and I actually think she's done some things on camera now in film. Her name's Alison Pill, and she's amazing, and also Marin Ireland. These are, you primping over there? Getting it all ready and good?
I'm trying to primp, considering. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no,
continue.
it's fine, no. So
My primping is...
I liked
trying
it.
to be distracting.
No, you're not at all. I liked like looking to the side and you being like, yes, I'm getting myself clean. Looks good.
Yeah,
You look good. Yeah, I like that little thing.
the swoop,
Yeah, I mean, it's making a statement without saying a word.
kind of a wing.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, it wants to be there.
I know it does.
It's not going
It's
anywhere.
not going anywhere, and it's stuck, and this is not even hairspray, so there you go.
It looks good. You look good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So back to those actresses and actors.
Yeah, that's probably... Oh, and Marlon Brando. I love Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
I love Marlon Brando. He's the best. I love him so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
Definitely. Okay. Of all the roles you've played in the past, do you have a favorite?
Ooh. I have a number of... It's like the favorites are the ones that I learned something from about myself or like pushed myself to do something. In college, I played Sally Bowles in Cabaret, and it was the first time I really heard my voice, literally and figuratively. I mean, I felt like I understood that person the first time, and that's the one show I've done the most, which is weird and great. But so probably Sally Bowles, and also Constanza and Amadeus at the Public. That was incredible for the costumes alone and the script. I mean, it was just an amazing experience. Everything was so grand. And I did a musical called Next to Normal in 2012 that was about a woman suffering with bipolar disorder. And that show came at a very necessary part in my life, and I learned a ton from it about myself and just about many aspects of my life that I was ready to address. There's so many. There's really so many. I could go on and on. It would take less time for me to tell you the ones I didn't like.
So do you remember any lines from any of them?
No.
So I can't get it out of her. I can't.
As soon as it closes, I mean, like 2 days later, gone. It's gone. Yeah. I got to make room. There's not a lot of room up there.
Well, speaking of that, I just wanted to ask you, because, Wally was on last.
Yeah.
And I asked him, is it difficult to remember lines? Do you think it's difficult?
I don't. I think it's difficult to retain them after time. There's this one line that whenever when I go home and I see my mom, she would say this weird line to me, and it was kind of, sarcastic and weird and cocky, and she'd say it to me every time I went home, and I'm like, what the crap is that? What are you saying to me? And finally I was like, where have you heard this line? And she said, you said it. At the Human Race Theater. You said that line. Don't you remember? I had no recollection whatsoever. No idea. I thought she was just being hip and cool and trying to make me laugh. But yeah, no, I think it's easy to remember them. You just can't keep them. They go away.
So what acting methods do you use to create a believable character?
You know, I could say Meisner, I could say whatever, but I think for me, and even as a little girl when I was pretending to be things, it always started in myself. So like I said before, it's kind of the figuring out what in you is in that person and then going from there, and being completely in the moment, real, not aware of anything that's around you. I can't stand when I go to see theater and you can tell, at least the civilians can't tell, I can tell, when someone is aware, is overly aware of the audience. And not necessarily checking in with the audience, but is just aware that they're there. My personal love is to go and see a show and feel like I'm snooping, that I'm not supposed to be seeing these things, unless we're seeing like a slapstick comedy or whatever it is. But if it's a drama, I really like feeling like Anne Frank this year, going to see Anne Frank at the Public. I felt like the wall was removed and we were taking this in. And that doesn't happen a lot from what I have seen, but when it does happen, it's really magical. So I like when people are really in it, when you're in it and you are completely honest and you're not aware of anything that's going on around you and you're just living and breathing in the moment. It's a long answer for that, I'm sorry.
No, it's a fun answer. That's what it's about. Do you like to read?
I do like to read. I don't read as much as I would like to, but I do enjoy reading. I like reading plays. It's so silly and cliche, but I do. And I do like to read. Yeah.
Do you think that helps you at all with your scripts by reading?
Sure, absolutely. I like reading the newspaper. That is one thing that is kind of a constant. We get the newspaper Wednesday through Sunday, and I generally read. My mom is like such a huge reader of the newspaper, so I kind of got that from her. But I do think it helps. It just keeps you less inarticulate, like I sound right now.
That's not true. Come on. You sound great.
Thanks.
And where can people find you on the internet?
On the intranet, I have
George Bush used to say the internets.
The internets, yes, or the interwebs.
Or something like that, or Charlotte's Web.
Charlotte's Web, I was in that show. I did this. I was dancing all over the place like that, and I had arms, and I had these climbing gloves, like it was crazy. And I had really short black hair that was all spiked. It was nuts, and big eyelashes. It was so fun. I loved it. I fell off the web once. I know, I literally fell off the web. I fell off and forward towards the pit because I got like a light in my eye and I got really confused.
So why was it so close to the pit?
It wasn't, but I slid.
Oh no!
I had to turn and sing something, and then it was like a step down and then another step down onto the stage, and I caught myself on one foot, and then but my other foot was still up in the web, and then the other foot came down but didn't land on that same step. It went down and then fell off the last step, and then like the inertia, I went vroom, right down front. And I remember Doug Levine, the music director, was sitting in the pit, and his face looking up at me, and me just being like, wah! Like this crazy spider coming right at him. Yeah, still singing. I sang the whole time. Never missed a beat.
So where can people find you?
People can find me on the internet. I have a website. It's www.dainamichellegriffith.com. That's Daina with an I, Daina, michellegriffith.com.
Daina?
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Vic,
for being here.
Thank you.
I am so glad this finally happened.
I know. It's taken ages.
Ages.
Literally ages.
Thank you for watching Arts and Music. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, please email us at artsandmusicpgh@yahoo.com. And until next time, peace. This show is dedicated to my brother Michael, who departed on April 19th. After his long bout with cancer, I'd like to take a moment of silence for all those who passed from this terrible disease, and I hope for a cure.